Okay, in moving forward now, thankfully, there seems to be some kind of level that you can both agree on at some point and then move forward. But let me get your thoughts on this. What do you think will be the basically biggest impact, if you will, to the president not signing the electoral amendment bill?
Well, we had, excuse me, we had a system before, the signing in 2010. The new signing would have given us an improved method of having elections. So we will miss out in that new model, basically.
If you say we'll miss out in that new model, that leaves us with what we have as possibly the 2010 amendment bill, which is the one we can work with now. Does that really take us
Yes.
to that point where all parties, including the CUPP that will be supporting the candidate of the PDP, does that give you a level of confidence that if Mr. President fails to sign this new amendment bill, despite not signing it, we're still home free and you can still, what you call, wrest power from the ruling party?
I don't know about being home free. We still need to work and work very hard. There are a lot more educative programs now so that you have a lot more educated, politically educated Nigerians around now, and the youth population is burgeoning. I'm sure that with those two factors, even without signing I wish that he had signed it, but without signing it, we can still have a fairly credible election.
Professor Kila, what do you think this electoral act, as amended, that's waiting for us, accent, what impact do you think it will have on the election?
Well, I think the whole idea is to, sort of go from good to better. The idea was that, it was improved in 2010. It allowed a reasonable and credible election that led to transition of power. And those advocating for it see that you make it even better than it was before. But then I agree. I mean, it would have been good if it had been done, but I do not think it's the end of the world. It's not done. It says something about those who are not signing, who was meant to be signing. It says something about those proposing it. I think politicians are very aware of how to win elections. Because of the history of this country, I do not have tolerance for anybody competing in an election and has not factored in possibility of being rigged. So I think those who are capable for running for high office, they factor in the possibility of being rigged out. So it is not just waiting on the goodwill of those who are in power or by divine intervention that you win election. You actually sit out to factor all the variables that might impede you from winning. And those variables include rigging, include money, includes popularity, includes your ability to reach out. So it's either you have it or you stay at home.
Dr. Byron, do you think it's possible at this point to achieve credible elections?
Well, I think it is. I think it is, and I
With
want to
or without the amended.
I want to share Dr. Balewa's views that and Tony's views as well. The amended act, if the president has signed it, it would have taken us further in terms of building the institutions. But you and I know that there are other factors that determine a free and fair elections. You want to be sure that of the independence of the electoral management body. You don't want things like, members of the ruling party inviting the chairman of INEC to meetings without other parties present. You want to make sure that the police is neutral and behaves like a public service, not as an instrument in the hands of the ruling party. And this is where, again, I think it was the presidential candidate of PDP who really kicked Atiku, who kicked against the Inspector General of Police, Many of us agree with that, you know, the Inspector General of Police, principally, because no matter how sweet a law is, if the policemen who are supposed to enforce it and to police and to provide you security start to behave in a manner that you wonder who they are working for, then it dilutes the whole thing.
But will not signing that amendment bill, will it give room for rigging the elections?
That's what I'm saying, that whether you sign the bill or not, you can still rig elections. But I'm saying the focus, the bill is one thing, okay, it has not signed, we can go on. The world will not end without signing the bill. What we should be looking at and focusing on is the role of the police and the independence of INEC.
How do you rig the elections?
I have never rigged before. I am not going to rig, so I'm not going to start learning.
So you cannot effectively say that even though it is signed or not,
if you ask me,
you can still rig the elections.
No, if you ask me how not to rig, I will answer you. But to ask me how to rig, I'm sorry, I don't answer for that. How not to rig an election is to make that the election management body is free, fair, and neutral. How not to rig an election is that the policeman and the security forces, they behave according to the Constitution and not according to the whim and caprice of an individual. And this is what is called rule of law. Nigerians must start to embrace transparency and rule of law.
Is that where we're graduating to?
Sir?
Is that where we're graduating to?
Well, the young people in this country, you don't know. You see, a lot of things are happening. Many of us, especially old politicians, do not understand the sensitivities and what the young people are looking at. Look, in those days, you didn't have this handset where you can take pictures and see exactly what's happening and transform. Social media wasn't there. You get my point? So even where they did not sign the bill, the deficiencies of the official dome of an electoral act have been compensated by what society itself. You see, nobody is going to wait for society to do the right thing. Society and evolution will grow out of certain things. Nigeria must get it right. It is not the law per se. It is the application of the law. June 12, 1993 was one of the freest and fairest elections. The electoral bill that was used is more archaic than the 2010 electoral bill. So no matter how much you modernize the electoral bill, it is not going to give you the solution to the problem. That's why I agree with my brother, Jalil, Dr. Tafawa Balewa, that we can go on with this bill. Where we should keep an eye on, we shouldn't focus on the law. Let us focus on the police. Let us focus on INEC. And let us make sure that all of us, including all of us in CUPP, have common coalition polling agents. When we have common polling agents, then we go forward. The fact that, CUPP party is going to have its own presidential candidate is no prejudice. We can also have arrangements of how we can campaign, without prejudicing each other. But let me just, for the record, let me put it on record that one, CUPP party has not left the CUPP. There are several other opportunities to work with the CUPP. Two, unfortunately, they've missed a turn with this presidential candidacy. The CUPP have chosen a presidential candidate in a manner that is intransparent and is unacceptable to many youths, many Nigerians who are neither in APC, PDP, or any other party. Many Nigerians, millions of Nigerians are not in any party. They are not in CUPP. They are waiting for good governance. Good governance is transparency and integrity. Yes, sir.
The CUPP party is not going to step down for the candidate of the CUPP.
No, absolutely.
It will fly his own.
No.
But then he wants the CUPP to work with them on other areas.
No.
Where the CUPP party is lacking strength. So what's the CUPP party going to give to CUPP?
Well, that is what negotiations are all about.
Can you hint us about it? I speak as a citizen.
I wouldn't do that on public.
You wouldn't do it on public.
I wouldn't do
you
that
go
on
to
public.
your cult room.
Okay.
I wouldn't give an answer to that.
We'll go on a short break, and we'll be back on that note in just a moment. Join us again.